Hey everybody, today I'm going to go over the 3 best ways to protect your knees when doing yoga. If your knees aren't what they used to be, or if they bother you when you're doing a yoga or other exercise, you're going to definitely want to check out this video today. I'm Janine from Win with Yoga, and I am going to be going over kneeling exercises, how to protect your knees for those, seated exercises, and also standing. Now, before I jump into that, I just want to say, if you haven't been coached before on your alignment or your form, there are going to be some really simple technique tips I'm going to give in here today that can help you mitigate pain or even work out completely without it. I love for you to have that happen for you. Okay, so let's get started. So on the floor, really simple, and I did another video that goes a little bit more into depth of what I'm going to talk about called 3 knee-friendly exercise variations for knees. And the first thing is just, if your knees bother you when you're in positions like a tabletop or a child's pose position, the first thing is that you can simply put padding underneath your knees. So just give it a little bit more padding. You can either add a second yoga mat, you don't even need an extra yoga mat, you can simply just as a hand towel, and you can put that right underneath your knees. And if you find that it's this shin bone, a lot of people's bone sticks out here and it drives into the floor, so it's not actually your knee, but it hurts in that area, then roll up your towel and put the towel right on that bone. Or if your kneecaps kind of dig into the floor, you don't like that feeling, if you put it on that bone, your kneecaps will float off the floor and that bone will be padded. So that'll help you out for any positions in a tabletop or, like I said, child's pose. And if that doesn't work, you simply flip it over. So you can do these positions on your back. You can do a tabletop on your back. And like I said in that other video, I go into depth over 3 exercises and how you can make those modifications. So first one, to protect your knees, give yourself a little more padding. You can use this even in lunges where that back knee's on the floor. Just get that padding underneath the knee and use that little tip, and that can help you out there. Number 2 is positions that are seated. So cross-legged positions can bother people's knees. Bound angle, this is where we put the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. Pigeon is another one where we go this way, okay? So here's the tip for that. It's called evert your foot. And you might be saying, what the heck is that? Well, really simply, I'm going to face the camera for this. Inverting, everting. So you can see I'm pushing the pinky toe side of my foot out. And what this does is it activates the muscles up the whole outside line of the leg, and it's going to work to stabilize your knee and keep it congruent. Now, you can use that in any of these positions. So if I'm in a bound angle position or these cross-legged positions, push down through the outer edge of your foot on the floor and pull with it a little bit. So it's push down and pull. So now you're everting the foot into the floor and pulling, and that's going to help support the knees all the way around. I'd say do this even if your knees don't bother you, because this is a great practice and it's going to develop a lot of really good stabilizing strength. You can do it with the legs crossed, push down with the outer edges of the feet. It's going to also lift your ankles up, so if the bony ankle kind of pushes into the floor, it'll alleviate that. Push down and pull. So now you're stretching and you're supporting, stabilizing, and strengthening at the same time. So we're supporting the knees as we're going here, and then you can go into any variation. So anytime the outer edges of the feet. Same thing here in pigeon. Okay, first of all, you don't have to have this foot way up here with this parallel. You can bring it in to work for your body. And then you can see I'm pointing my foot slightly and I'm going to push that outer edge into the floor. So when I do that, now again, I'm activating the muscles in the outer edge of my leg, and that is going to help support my knee. If it didn't work there, remember you can always sit over into the hip. And last thing I'm going to say is like an add-on, just work with the angle of the leg. So maybe you need to put your knee out a little wider, or maybe you need to bring it in. You can go ahead and just make that adjustment. Same thing for any of these positions. Here, If it bothers you to pull them in, move them out a little bit more. Change the angle. Maybe you have to cross one leg over more than the other. Maybe you need the knees out a little wider. Maybe you need to separate the feet. So just play with the angle of the legs till you can find a position that works a little bit more comfortably for your knee, and don't forget to evert the foot. Okay, and then lastly, when we come to the standing positions, right? Okay, key things you want to know, and I wore my short pants today so you could see my knees. We'd like the knees to point straight over the center of the foot, like at all times on any exercise that's standing, whether the legs are straight or they're bent. So I'm straight here. My knees are pointing forward. Now when I'm going into, let's say we were going to do like a chair pose, again, I want my knees to track straight forwards, not fall in together. So keep those knees pointing straight forward. Keep the heels on the floor as you do that to start. Okay, that's the big one. Knees pointing straight forwards and not locking them back. So I'm giving you an A and B in this one. So if my knees don't really do this, but if yours go backwards, you know, sometimes you see ballet dancers, you can sit back into those knees. You want to give them a little softness and start to use the muscles, lifting these muscles. It's also going to strengthen the calves and the back, especially if you're doing balancing positions. Start to use the muscles around the knee because that's what's going to stabilize it. So if you're constantly locking back and letting this just be jiggly, then you're not supporting the knee, you're sitting into it, and that can wear and tear at it. So you want to keep lifting here, and even in these straight-legged positions, so let's say like a pyramid or a triangle or a revolving triangle, anything where the legs are straight, I'm going to come here. Here's what we see happen a lot. The knee locks out and rolls in. See how my knee is now pointing that way? This is no good here. So we want to roll our thigh out. There's that technique tip. And see our kneecap pointing straight up to the ceiling. And now again, it's lined over the center of my foot. So whether I'm doing a lunge or whether my leg is straight and I'm lifting these muscles, so I'm not locking the knee out, my kneecap points straight ahead. And so when we lunge, it might tend to do this. This is no good. So we want to push the thigh open and again, get the knee over the center of the foot. Any standing positions, straight leg or bent, keep that knee pointing straight over the center of the foot and make sure they're not locked out. So there you go. 3 ways to protect your knees, and you can use that in all different positions. Apply those same principles. All right, well, let me know how it goes for you. You can leave a comment in the comments below, or feel free to ask me a question as well. If you feel like the everyday aches and pains of getting older are preventing you from exercising or fully enjoying life, then I'd love to introduce you to something that will help make you feel better than you have in years. Fit and Flexible for Life is a program I created of 10-minute-a-day routines that you'll actually do. It's for women in their 50s and 60s who are ready to get their strength, stamina, and balance back, even if you have previous injuries or are not limber at all. Fit and Flexible for Life has routines that are literally 10 minutes a day, so they fit into any lifestyle. Easy to follow routines that help reduce pain. There's a new you and 30-day plan to keep you on track. Plus, we've included a ton more. So if you want to check it out, head over to fitandflexibleforlife.com, and we'll include this link in the description below.